Are you thinking about buying a home in Rapid City in 2022? If so, let's talk about the 10 buyer mistakes for buying a home in this year. Hey everybody, it's Tristan Neiman with Mindful Living Realty, a realtor right here in Rapid City, South Dakota. Welcome back to my YouTube channel where I talk everything about moving to Rapid City and the wonderful things about Rapid City and the Black Hills. Now let's get into these top things you want to avoid as a home buyer in 2022. Mistake number 1. Not doing your homework. With as crazy as the market has been in 2022, you need to be ready to go at a moment's notice. That means you need to have all your ducks in a row prior to finding that first home to look at. So, first thing you need to do, talk to a lender. Get that pre-approval in place. If you have a home to sell, make sure they understand all that, how that's going to work out with your lender. Maybe you don't need your home to sell. Maybe you can get a bridge loan so you don't have to have the home to sell. Talk with your lender, figure all these things out, determine where your comfort level is at as far as your payment. Not necessarily how much you can afford, but what your comfort level is on your payment. If you're planning on buying with cash, make sure you have either a bank letter saying, yes, these people have this cash, or account statements showing that you have that much money in the bank. Because the seller's going to need to see proof that you have the cash in the bank and you're not just blowing smoke. Finally, have the conversations with yourself or whoever else is buying the home with you to determine what you're looking for in a property. At first, go ahead and write that dream list. Write everything you want on that property. But then narrow it down to 2 or 3 maybe must-have items. That might just simply be a 3-bed, 2-bath house under whatever your price point is. But it's got to be 2-bath. It can't be 1-bath. So make sure that you have an understanding of where your bottom line is. Then also understand where your timeline is at. If you have to be out here at a certain date, you might not have the luxury of having all the items on your list. However, if you've got all the time in the world, maybe having a few more than just the top 3 is okay to be looking for, as long as you understand that you might be looking for a while and that you have the time to do that. So step 1 is do your homework. Buyer mistake number 2, not utilizing a local lender. So Rapid City in our area is really quite small. I mean, we're 75,000 plus people. We aren't a very big town. So our lenders develop relationships with us as real estate agents. We develop relationships with them. And if local lender A messes everything up all the time and can't get to closing at the right time, no one's going to use them anymore. And they know that. They can't hide behind a 1-800 number somewhere in another state. They're here in the community, working for the community. And when you have a local lender and a local pre-approval letter, that puts you a spice above the Rocket Mortgages and the out-of-town lenders, and especially the online guys. If you want to present a strong offer, the strongest offer you can provide is with a local lender that we know, like, and trust. Plus my experience with local lenders and getting things closed on time and done right, because they know the local environment, what's going on here. A local lender has fewer layers, fewer regulations, a lot easier to get to closing, and a lot friendlier as well. Go local, trust me. Buyer mistake number 3, having unrealistic expectations. Okay, you've heard this over and over again. It's a seller's market. The inventory is low. Buyer demand is high. In our area, in the Rapid City and Black Hills area, our values are up like 20%. So we are seeing huge values that we're not used to. It's getting to the point where $300,000 doesn't buy you much anymore. $100,000 or less, even $150,000, it's kind of a piece of crap fixer-upper. So you probably aren't going to get everything on that wish list. And you're probably not going to get the seller to make all the repairs that you want. And you can expect to present offers that start at the asking price and then go up from there. The past few months, it's kind of been averaging like $20,000, $25,000 over asking price, even in the $200,000, $300,000 price points. And if your attitude is, yeah, we'll just wait for it to come along, the right deal will come along at the right time, you're probably going to be sitting for a while. Deals just aren't happening right now, this year, in our area. Buyer mistake number 4, being too picky about the houses we look at. Now this one really depends on where you are in your process. Now if you're under the $300,000 price point and you need to move like yesterday, you probably just need to look at everything that's out there and finally at the end of the day, just trying to get you into a house, right? That's how crazy the inventory has been lately. However, if you've got a larger budget and you've got more time, there will be more homes that come along in the market. As we move through the summer, as we get into the fall, more and more properties will come on the market. You'll have more opportunities. If you have a little more time, if you have a little extra money, you can be a little more picky on the homes that you want to purchase. And when we do find a property that we love, we put an offer in it. Don't get too emotionally attached to any one house yet. We got to make sure we get you that property first, and then we can talk about moving furniture around. Buyer mistake number 5, not being aggressive enough on your offer. I know it's really tough when I'm saying, yeah, this home is at $400,000. You got to spend $430 maybe to get it, and I know the value might be $25 above the value, so you're spending more money than you really want, than it's really worth. But that's what it takes to get a property in this market. All right, so when you find that home you want to buy, and you're asking me the question, okay, how much over should I go so that I can get this property? You know what I'm going to tell you? How much do you got? Seriously, I know that's crazy, but that's kind of the way it can be. And on top of that, you can't have any crazy contingencies, such as a home viewing contingency, a home sale contingency. Now, a home inspection contingency, those have been pretty normal most of the time in our area. We're still getting those accepted. I certainly don't recommend you not going with a home inspection contingency on your property that you're going to buy, especially if you're going to be living in it for a long period of time. You might be paying more for a home than it's actually worth via the appraisal. But hopefully, our real estate market seems to go up at a very slow rate. Lately, it's been kind of a huge rate, but our real estate prices have always gone up. So if you're going to be in that property for a number of years, you should be okay on the resale getting out of that property. Of course, disclaimer, you never know what's going to happen in the real estate market. Historically, that's where things have happened, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, I do need to say one thing about if it's meant to be, it'll be. I believe 100% that there is a house for you, that the one that is meant for you will be there. But that doesn't mean you're offering just asking price or offering under asking price and expecting it to happen, because if it's meant to be, it'll meant to be, will actually happen. You still have to do your due diligence, move forward with the way the market is going, and expect reality and not miracles. Now, could a miracle happen? Sure. But you might be sitting a long time on the bench, putting offers in that aren't getting accepted if you're not going to play the game in 2022. Buyer mistakes turn 2022 number 6, expecting a brand new home. So one of the downfalls of being a seller's market is the sellers know that it's a seller's market, and they know that they don't have to fix everything in the house like they had to, 2-3 years ago, where it's really important for them to do a lot more repair work. Unfortunately, there's some plumbing issues and some electrical issues that we're finding that they're just not taken care of. So when you have the home inspection and you come back and ask the sellers to repair things, they're probably not going to fix a whole lot. Now, they'll probably do safety stuff. If your radon is high, they're going to have to do the radon at some point. The plumbing, the electrical issues, those are some safety issues. Those are things that aren't usually too bad of an ask. But if you present them a laundry list of things to do and caulk this and fix this and tighten that, they're going to look at you and say, why? I'll just put it back in the market and someone else will buy it with no problem. So you've got to find the right balance between asking for repairs on things that are concerning to you and are for the safety and health of your family, and understanding where the sellers are in the whole seller's market thing. I'll never tell you not to ask for the things that are concerning to you, but a laundry list in this market just simply isn't going to happen. Now, when I show you the property, I try my best to showcase the things that probably need some work, and we can really get a good feel for how home is maintained and get a good feel for what the inspection might be like. But if we walk in and say, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do here, that's what you're buying. Understand that that's what it is, and the seller's not going to fix stuff because they're going to sell it the way it is. You ain't going to get a perfect house when you buy a house, especially in a seller's market. Home buyer mistake number 7, expecting builders to care about you. A lot of times the question will come in, okay, I can't get a pre-owned home without fighting for it and asking about over and above, so what about a new build? And a lot of times that is an option. But here's the deal. When you buy a property, especially these spec homes, not necessarily a custom build, one where you're actually going to the builder and you've got the plans and that's a little different story here. But when you're buying more of a spec home property under the $500,000 mark, you are just one project that they're working on. They're going to line everything up based upon their projects, not necessarily what works best for you. And I know you want the builder to communicate with you and have this conversation. And we want to have this, hey, I'm building this home for you. Isn't this great? But that's just not what happens. The communication kind of sucks between the builder and the agent, and then between them and me. I have a hard time getting information from anybody sometimes on some of the new builds. And then with the shortage of supplies and the shortage of contractors, it gets really hard to really nail down timeframes. Things get delayed, and expecting an actual closing date on a new construction is really hard. You have to have a lot of contingencies, a lot of plan Bs in effect, and just understand that it's going to get done when it gets done. I've tried countless things to try to hurry things up, to speed things along. But again, if If you don't buy it, somebody else will. So there's no motivation for them to really push hard for you specifically. Yeah, they'll get it done when they get it done, but based upon how they move through their contractors in their building scheme. There aren't any discounts, there aren't any deals. You have to have patience times a million. But when it's done, you get a new house. Just don't expect the builder to be there with a fruit basket. Buyer mistake number 8. Not trusting your real estate agent. Now I know this is good. This sounds kind of self-serving, but it's the truth. I don't know how many times things have happened, and I was kind of like, yeah, that's kind of what I said. I'm not here for my own experience, right? When I say, hey, we probably need to do this, we need to move now, we need to present an offer now, and we need to offer quite a bit of an asking price based upon my experience, I'm not just saying that so I get more money. I'm saying that to do my best to help you get that property that you love. I'm going to make sure that I ask the questions. I'm going to say things like, what happens if that you lose this home? How does that make you feel? I'm going to ask a question like, okay, let's say we offer $500,000 on this $450,000 home, and we get it. And I come in and say to you, hey, we got it for $500,000. How does that make you feel? These questions help me understand where you are and what your thought form is on the house that we're looking at buying. If I think you've got an option for buy a home at an asking price, I'll tell you that. I'll let you know. If I think you can potentially buy the house for under, I'll certainly let you know that, but I'll also let you know that things happen. There's been times in the past where the home has been on the market for like 200 days. I take a look at with my buyers, they have interest, we put an offer in, and lo and behold, there's another offer. Why then? Crazy things happen in real estate that you really just can't plan for. But I'm going to do my best to make sure that you understand each and every aspect of the market and then be able to make the decisions that are best for you and your family. When I talk about the pitfalls of new construction, when I talk about the need for a local lender, when I talk about the problems and challenges of home sale contingencies, please listen to me. I'm not here to sell you a bill of goods. I'm really not. It's more important to me that you get the property that you love, the one that you're happy with, if nothing else, instead of just any old home. So that when I come over a little bit later and say, hey, what's the home? You're like, yeah, this is amazing. I'm excited about this, rather than, we got a house. I care about your success. Hence the video. Buyer mistake number 9, listening to everybody else. I know I love your parents. Your parents are awesome. They've been there for you forever to take care of you. But unless they bought a home last week right next door to you guys, chances are their information is not going to be accurate. They're trying to protect you, and sometimes they're not used to the way things are now. The home prices are way more than they expect. The hoops that you have to jump through are insane. The lender requires all these documents. Everything is just different. So listen to your parents for real estate advice is generally not the best option to buy a home in a tough market in 2022. And I know your uncle that's been in the construction company for so many years is worried about that caulking that's not perfect. That's just getting into point number 4, being too picky. And then there's that aunt that's in real estate in a different state or in a different area. I'm sorry, but the real estate market in Rapid City is completely different from any other state, any other location. Plus the paperwork and laws in every state are different. So the real estate advice from someone not in our area is also not going to be helpful to you in purchasing a property. Everybody else is going to have an opinion, is going to have a thought, is going to have a warning, is going to have this, is going to have that. So what you're going to need to do is smile, nod and appreciate their comment, and then come back and talk amongst yourselves. What is the best for you and your family? And of course, maybe ask me a question or two to help you along the way. Buyer mistake number 10, not listening to your gut. So in this market, I'm going to tell you that you need to make fast decisions, which sucks, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. You've never done this before, and I'm just saying, hey, make a decision, we got to go now, we got to do this, make an offer high, and it's really overwhelming. So you can't really spend a lot of time up in your head trying to figure it out, making sure. You've got to sit there and say, okay, walk in the home, what does it feel like? Do you like this home? Is it something that your body says, yes, this is cool? Or is it something that is, not so much? When I ask you the question, so did you like that home? You might want to make an offer on that property. If your body says yes, then let's put an offer. Let's see what happens. If you're kind of like, then no, let's find a different one. The best way to make sure that you're happy when buying real estate in 2022 is to listen to your gut and go that way instead of trying to put it all together in your head. Because your brain just really doesn't have the time to process all the information and the fears and the fortunes and what's this about and what's that about to really come up with a great answer at the end of all that. So you got to trust your inner knowing. You got to trust your gut. And when the gut says go for it. There you have it, the 10 buyer mistakes for buying a home in the Rapid City Black Hills area in 2022. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure you watch this one talking about the rules, the regulations, and all that boring stuff about buying a home in the state of South Dakota. Thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and remember, love where you live.